for the D tier, we have two elements. I'm going to break them down individually. So the first one that we have, this is going to be wind. Now wind is, I think, the worst element in the entire game. It's really not that good. I would not recommend getting it. The moves, it's pretty much all pushback moves. So what that means is that you can't really combo with any of them. So really no wind moves that I know that you can combo with. I don't think anybody uses this element, nor have I seen anybody use this in PvP. And we'll discuss which are the most powerful ones to use in PvP a little bit later when we get to the S tier and stuff. But so basically just keep away from wind. To sum it all up, just keep away from wind. The next one we have here is fire. Now I do think fire is a little bit better than wind. It has one move that is kind of like a fire dragon that can stun for a little bit, so it does have some more combo potential than wind. But of course this is the D tier, so it's not that good. So like I said, avoid these both elements. If you have to have one, if you have to choose one, I would go for fire because this is a little bit better than wind. So let's go into the next tier here. This is going to be the C tier. So we've got two elements here. We got thunder, and then we have gale, I think. No, we have water. So we have water and lightning. So pretty much lightning is really good for stuns. It's pretty, I would say, one of the best elements. Of course earth and water are better, but lightning is pretty good for stuns. So if you're looking for combo potential and you're looking for high stuns, I would go for lightning. But I would go for the evolved version of lightning, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but that one's a little bit more hard to get. So if you're looking for a good amount of stuns, go for lightning. Now we have water. Now water's here really only because of one move that pretty much everybody uses. It's like a water prison of some sorts. It's really good to use in dungeon and in boss mode killing, so it's a really good move to use. So pretty much I don't know anybody who else uses this element for just that one move, so it's kind of a one move element that is kind of good. Similar to what we'll see in the later tiers, that only one element is good, so just keep that in mind. If you're going to go for water, you're only going to get really 1 to 2 element moves that are good, so just keep that in mind. For the next tier here, we have B tier. So B tier is looking a little more interesting because we have 3 elements now. So the first one we have is going to be earth. Now earth is the best element of the 4 easily. It's got a ton of combo potential, ton of high damage moves, and really good for boss killing. It's not too good for PvP in my opinion, but if you're going to use this against NPCs, dungeon or boss missions, it's probably the one to go for out of the 4 elements. So do keep that in mind. It's a pretty good one. I would say the best out of all of them, like I said. So let's talk about the next one, which is going to be gale. Now gale is kind of like a better version of water a little bit, so it's got a couple of high range moves. It's kind of a balance, like probably the most balanced element out of all of the other ones. So it's kind of like a good and bad element. It's the most balanced one. So let's talk about the next one, which is going to be the evolved version of lightning, or just purple lightning, or I think it's called shiver. Either one, but pretty much it's like lightning but better. So if you want something evolved from lightning, I would go for shiver. So just keep that in mind. It's basically just a better lightning. If you can't get shiver, don't be upset. You can just get regular lightning, which is pretty much the same thing as shiver, but just shiver is a little bit better. So let's go into the A tier here. So the A tier, we've got quite a lot of elements to talk about here. Let's start out with chaos. Now chaos is a pretty good element in my opinion. It's got a lot of high damage moves. Combustion is a really good move, and then we have concrete, which has a couple of good moves as a really good travel move, and it has a couple of good good NPC moves like high damage, high AoE moves, and it's really good for kind of crowd control a little bit, similar to how earth has a couple of moves that's really good for like ground control, and same with water has a couple of good ground control moves. This is similar. We have acid, which is a pretty good one. I would say probably one of the best elements, and then we have the last one, which I forgot the name of, but it's basically the worst out of all of them for the A tier, so just keep that in mind. So let's go into the S tier, the final tier. So we have quite only about 5 elements, so let's kind of go through them and we'll talk about them. So the first one we have here is going to be order. Order is probably one of the worst ones to get out of the S tier, only because it doesn't really have much combo potential. But that's enough of that. Let's go and talk about the yin and yang. So these are quite some interesting ones, and I think they're still one of the best elements in the game. And if you're wondering what the golden one is, that's just a variant of the yin and yang, so it's pretty much just a skin. so it's the same thing. So yin and yang, there's not really too much difference between them, but one of them kind of has more stun potential than the other. So in my opinion, if you're gonna go for either one, I would go for the black version of the yin and yang. The white one is still good. They're pretty much the same thing, but one of them is a little bit better in my opinion, so I'll go for the black one. So the yin and yang has also some really great combo potential, and the final one is obviously the best element in the entire game. You pretty much see this element in ranked and PvP. It's used for its final move, which is kind of like a dragon shot, almost like. I wonder if I can find an image for it, but it's pretty much like a dragon shot, and it's really good for combos. So this element is really good for combos. A lot of people use it for that, especially combining it with like the daggers. It's really overpowered. So that's going to be the entire video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.